Good afternoon, students. Well, I think in the last class, in the previous class, we have completed the exercise of chapter number 2, that was components of food. I want everyone to complete the exercise and show it whenever we visit or you visit the school. Alright, so now we'll be moving on to chapter number 3, that is separation of substances. Separation of substances. What is this separation of substances? It is actually we are separating the substances which are not required. By us, we'll separate it. For example, in case if we are having jowar in our hand or wheat in our hand, and if there is some mud in it or if there are some stones in it, what we'll do, we'll remove that mud or stone from that wheat. So this is called separating, means removing one from the another. That now separation is correct. So here we'll be learning about how separation is going to take place in in solids, insoluble solids in liquids, and soluble solids in liquids. How we have to separate them. So then, in our day-to-day life, we'll be separating many particles from the mixture. So here we'll be seeing what is mixture. Mixture means what? It is two or more than two substances are present. For that, we are going to call mixture. Means this mixture consists of two or more particles two or more types of particles. Two or more types of particles or substances. Particles or substances. Then we call it as a mixture. For example, air. We know that air is a mixture of gases. It is mixture of gases. Alright. Then seawater. Is it a mixture or no? Yes, of course it is a mixture because it is having minerals in it. Water is also there where we can find salt. So at least we'll be having two particles when it comes to seawater. One is water and the other one is salt. So this is a mixture. Alright. Then tea. Then tea. What is there in the tea? For example, we have water, we have added milk, we have added sugar, and we have added tea powder. So all these four mix together and combine, and then they form tea. Is this correct? In a tea, what will be having? We'll be having tea powder, water, sugar, and then milk. So all these four mix together and form tea. Therefore, tea is a mixture. Is this agreeable? Okay. Then what next? Then the next is pure substance. Next is pure substance. In a mixture, we had two or more than two types of particles or substances. Whereas in this pure substance, we'll be having only one type of substance. It consists of only one type of substance, or it consists of only one type of particle. For that we call it as a pure substance. In this pure substance, we find particles of only one type, or particles are of only one kind. For example, we'll come across gold and then silver. So these are the substances which are pure, that is gold and silver. And mixture, it is consisting of two or more than two particles or substances. All right. Okay. And in textbook page number 28, they have given one activity that you have to complete it. A list of some substances are given in the table below. Categorize them as a mixture or as a pure substance. So what they have done, they have given some names of some particles. So what you have to do, you have to write it whether it is a pure substance or a mixed substance. Is this clear? For example, they are given sugar, wheat grains, soil, kheer, tomato soup and tea leaves. Here what you have to do, you have to write whether all these items are pure substance or it is a mixture, that we have to write. So this will be the work that you have to do in home. Alright. So activity 1 is homework for you. So why we have to do this separation? Why this separating is necessary? First thing, we should know what is separation. The word separation, it means removing one thing from the other. So for this we call it as separation. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವಿನಿಂದ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ತೆಗೆದು ಹಾಕಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಸಪರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Then why this separation is necessary? Why this separation is necessary? Why it is required? Why separation has to be done? For that we have first one, that is to remove undesirable substances. So ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನಾವು, to remove undesirable substances. Undesirable substances ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು? Which are those undesirable substances? So here separation is done to remove unwanted components. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಡವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಟೀ, ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಒನ್ಸ್ ದ ಟೀ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಡ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡ್ರಂಕ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡನ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನರ್. ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗ್ತದೆ, tea leaves gets separated from the tea. When the tea is being poured from that tea flask to a drinking glass, then we'll use a strainer and then we'll pour it. Right? It is going to filter those tea leaves, and only the wanted tea is in that glass, whereas this unwanted component, that is tea powder, tea leaves, that is tea leaves powder, It is getting separated from the tea. Is this right? Or will you drink directly the tea without using it, without taking the tea without help of strainer? Do you use it? With the help of strainer, we are going to pour the tea into the glass tumbler and then we will drink from that glass tumbler. Whereas whatever is remaining on this strainer is thrown out because that is unwanted component for it, unwanted component here, right? Then we can take another example, rice. Before rice is cooked, what your mother is doing or what your sister is doing or what you are doing before cooking rice? Will you take rice and you will directly cook it? No. What you will do? You will take that rice and you will wash that rice. Means you will take those rice into a container and you are pouring water into that container. Why do you pour water into the container where rice is present? Because whatever the unwanted material is there, unwanted component is there in that rice will start floating. Isn't it? You'll be doing it. So that is removed. So that is separation. So these are the two examples where you can understand why we have to remove the undesirable substances, or you might have understood what are these undesirable substances. Undesirable substance means which are unwanted components for us. They are undesirable substances, so we have to remove them. So this is one of the necessity to separate the substances. Then which is the second one? Okay, to remove undesirable substances, we have made use of separation. Then apart from this, what else is there? It is to obtain useful components. To obtain useful components. For that also, what we have to do? We have to separate the substances. How it can be done here? How we are going to obtain useful components using this process? Here what we do, from a mixture we are separating. Separation is done, right? How that separation is done here is, we are getting useful products once that separation is done. For example, petroleum, it is a mixture. Petroleum is a mixture. If we separate petrol and diesel from this petroleum, then these two are our useful substances which we are waiting for. That is why what we have to do? We have to separate. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲಿಯಂ ಅನ್ನೋದೇನು ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್. ಅದು ಆ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲಿಯಂ ಒಳಗೆ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಈ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಡೀಸೆಲ್ ಅದಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ನಮಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಅದ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ? ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು separate so that we obtain useful components from that mixture, right? Then what are methods of separation? How methods of separation can be done? In this methods of separation, we will be having the separation of solids from other solids, separation of solids from other solids, then separation of insoluble solids from liquid, and the third is soluble solids from liquids. We have three major divisions. How separation can be done from separation of solids can be done from its solids. Means in this first one, we are separating solids from the solid itself. Alright, it is like wheat and stones, or groundnuts and stones, or wheat or mud in it. Both are solids. Wheat is also solid there, mud is also solid there. Or groundnut is also solid, a stone is also solid. So we are removing solid from other solid. Those are the methods here. Here, then we have insoluble solids from liquids. There are few solids which are not going to be soluble in liquids. How we have to separate them? By what process we have to separate them? That will be seen in this second one. And then in third one, the solids which are soluble in liquids, how those has to be separated. That we will be studying here. So here in this first separating solids from other solids, we have first as a sieving, hand picking, threshing, and winnowing. We will be studying these four processes under separation of solids from other solids. Then here in insoluble solids from liquids, that is separating insoluble solids from liquids. We will be studying the processes called sedimentation, decantation, and filtration. And in the last column, that is soluble solids in liquids, there we will be learning evaporation and condensation. Evaporation and condensation. And also distillation. So here these many methods are used to separate the substances. But which one we have to adopt, which method we have to adopt in separating, that depends on the components of that mixture, size of the particles. It all depends on that size of particles and components of mixture and its solubility. So on these three factors, whichever method we have to adopt, that depends. So those methods are components of mixture, then size of particles and solubility. So depending upon that, we have to identify which one is going to suit, which method is going to suit for separation. So now we will be studying one by one. So first this column, right? So here sieving. Actually we see it every day. Even you see it every day. Your parents are going to use it every day, and the laborers who are constructing a building, they are also going to use it every day. For example, you will be having wheat flour. Your mother is not going to take that wheat flour and directly make it, right? First she is going to separate the impurities of that wheat flour using what? Using this sieve. So using this sieve, we are going to separate whatever is present whatever the impurities are present in that wheat flour. Or while constructing the building, laborers will be having sand in front of them. What they are going to do? Those laborers are going to sieve that sand first, because they want to remove pebbles and stones from that sand. That is why they use this sieve. Is this clear? Then we have hand picking. Actually, this hand picking depends on the quantity of impurities. Means how much amount of impurity is there in how much quantity of mixture. That is important, because you will be cleaning. You will be cleaning pulses. While cleaning pulses, if there are any impurities like stones, mud, what you do? You pick it by hand. So this hand picking itself indicates picking is done by hand. So whatever the impurities are there, that is removed. The impurities are removed by hand. That is hand picking, and this will be depending when there is lesser quantity of impurities in the lesser quantity of mixture. Then only this hand picking can be used. Then we have threshing. What is threshing? I think you have learnt it in first chapter, crop production and management. What is threshing then? It is separating. Threshing is separating the grains from their stalks. So grains are separated from their stalks by various methods. It might be by beating the sticks. It might be by beating the sticks, or to trample the buffaloes, or to trample the animals. Actually, this trampling is done by bullocks. These bullocks are going to trample that, or this threshing can be done by machine. So we have seen thresher, which is going to only thresh, and there is another machine which we have seen, that is combine, which is going to thresh as well as harvest. We have seen it in chapter 1. I think you all remember it. Fine. So threshing means here the separation of grains is done from its stalks. Means from that stalks, whatever the grain is there, that is getting separated. This separation in threshing can be done by using machines like thresher, or like combine, a machine. Combine is also a machine which is used for threshing as well as harvester. Apart from this separation of grains can be done by using beating the sticks, or allowing the buffalo to trample. Fine. Then at last we have winnowing. We have winnowing. So winnowing, I think this is also studied in the previous chapter, where the person will be holding the mixture in their hand, holding it high till their shoulder. When the wind blows, the farmer is going to tilt that mixture, so that whatever the light components are there in that mixture is going to fly away, whereas the heavier particles in that is going to fall near to him. So heavier is going to fall nearer to him, which is light is going to blow away with the wind. Here also the separation is done by using the force of a wind. Alright, so there are few activities which all indicates these separation methods. We will be seeing it one by one. Activity 1 is given homework for you, right? Then activity 2, I will be reading what it is. Take a handful of rice in a plate, hand pick the undesirable components like stones. So what you have to do? You have to take rice, right? Take a handful of rice in a plate. So you have to take this much rice and put it in a plate. After putting it in a plate, what you have to do? you have to remove, you have to separate the unwanted particle there. So whichever is unwanted, we have to remove it from the rice. So what it is going to make you? It makes you to use a method called hand picking. So there you are using hand picking method to separate undesirable substances like stones and all which are present in rice. Right? Then moving on to activity 3. Then activity 3, take a bowl of wheat flour. Wheat flour will be there, ಗೋಧಿ ಹಿಟ್ಟು. We have to take that wheat flour, then we have to add some pulses to that wheat flour. So wheat flour is mixed with pulses. Then we have to take one sieve and we have to start sieving it. So whatever the wheat flour is there, it is going to fall. But whatever these pulses were there, it is on the upper side of that sieve. So this shows that that is a method used for sieving. Alright. Then to activity 4. What we'll do, we'll take some paper and then some cardboard sheet. Paper as well as cardboard sheet, it is going to be made into small pieces. Papers are also going to be of small pieces, whereas cardboard pieces are also going to be of small pieces. And remember, the size of both those paper as well as card sheet is going to be of same size. We'll mix it so that we should not get it should not be easily available, so that we can separate it. All that pieces of paper and piece of card sheet has to be mixed. Then what we have to do, we have to take it in a bowl. Then we'll switch on the fan. Then we'll hold that bowl towards the wind of that fan. Then whatever the paper sizes were there, actually the size of paper as well as card sheet is same. There paper is flying away, whereas the card sheet is falling nearer you, because card sheet is heavier compared to piece of paper. Paper is lighter, that is why it is moving with the wind, whereas this card sheet is heavier compared to it, it is falling nearer us. So here, which are heavier will fall near to us and which are lighter will fall far away from us. So this is winnowing. Understood? I think in today's class we have learned what is separation, right? Why separation has to be done, that is to remove undesirable substances and to obtain useful components. Then on what basis these methods of separation are there, that is removing solids from other solids, removing or separating insoluble solids from liquids, and separating soluble solids from other liquids. And under that each category we have different methods. So today we have completed only the first column, that is separating solids from other solids. In that we have sieving, hand picking, threshing and winnowing. I think these all are clear to you. So we will be continuing in the next class, but for homework, first one, define separation. Second, describe hand picking and winnowing. This is the homework for you today. So till then, keep reading textbook. It should not be told daily. So keep reading textbook. Read whatever is taught and whatever is going to be taught tomorrow. That also has to be read and come to the school. Then So stay home, stay safe. See you in the next class. Take care of your health. Thank you.